What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Gonzalez. All right, guys, this is the oldest version of the P320. All right, doesn't have red side, nothing. It was all black. I chrome it. You guys seen a couple of videos of this gun, right? This gun had never been upgraded. Okay, chamber in 40 Smith & Wesson. So earlier, I bit the shit out of this gun in the back with a rubber hammer. Nothing happened. Okay, nothing happened. So now I have a 40 Smith & Wesson empty shell. You guys can see I already removed the inside, right? It's just the primer left, right? So I'm doing the test. I already did it a lot of times off camera and nothing happened. So I seen a couple of videos where you put something small through the back plate and hit the disconnector to see that the primer or the firing pin goes off and hit and the firing pin pretty much come out, right? If the firing pin comes out, this small primer is gonna go off. Okay, so let's check. All right, round is loaded in there. Bam. It can go, maybe yes, no, I don't know. So you guys can see I have a bunch of marks already. So let's see. Let's hear for the click. Click. Nothing happened. Let's do it one more time. I did it 20 times already, okay? But I'm not gonna be loading this on camera since I already did it a lot of times. I'm just showing you guys what's going on. Oops. All right, we're gonna load it one more time. And then after this one, I'm going to actually fire the gun, okay? There you go. Ooh. Nothing happened. Now let's do it one more time. Let's see if I can chamber the gun with the round in it. Okay. Okay. And shoot. Bam. All right. It went off already. So that means what? It's firing. The firing pin is working, but hitting the disconnector is not making the firearm goes off. I already did this with a hammer. Put an empty round with an aluminum piece of paper in the back where it's gonna make the mark on it if the firing pin goes off. The firing pin haven't go off. So what I'm trying to say is, right, I mean, this might be happening with some guns, so test yours. Do all the tests that you can. Obviously be careful, don't use real rounds. Make sure that if you are removing the actual bullet from the shell, be careful. Can happen an explosion. You can lose your hands, even your life. So if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. But I did mine, nothing's going on. So I make it this one with a primer so you guys can hear the sound. I don't need to do it with a primer. I just use a piece of aluminum so that it makes the mark in the piece of aluminum. But just to make the test more realistic, that's what I did that. And nothing happened with me poking the disconnector. So disconnector, did it more than 20 times, nothing happened. Press the trigger, went off. So I'll leave you guys there, with this. Maybe, some of you guys are doing the test and your firearm is messed up, but mine is not. All right, guys, we're back inside. So I want to show you guys something. Okay. So I'm going to remove the back plate. What you have to do is press here and move to the front. All right. And then remove your striker. So you guys can see mine doesn't have any, well, a little bit, you know, just oily a little bit. It's not actually like, it's lubricate, but I would say most likely dry. Okay, so this part right here and the guns is very delicate. Okay, so you cannot be putting a lot of oil on it, you know what I mean, because it can build pressure inside. I know for a fact that if you put a lot of oil, the it's gonna be you can have firing pin malfunctions. So weak, the firing pin is gonna be very weak hitting the primer. Okay, but anyways, so the part that I want to talk about is this portion right here, right? This is the safety disconnector, right? Earlier, this little guy right here was disconnected when I removed it the first time when I took the gun out of the box, right? Look how easy that spring will, you know, get loose, all right? You take this to clean it out of the gun, put it back in the gun, no spring, and you can have a malfunction. You know what I mean? So that's not saying this is what is causing the firearm, right, by any means going off. You know what I mean? But this can be a threat. Okay, so it goes in place like this: the long portion to the bottom, and the long portion. You see how I open up right there? All right, it's very flimsy. So what is gonna stop this from doing that is when you put actually the primer inside the slide, right? And we're going to that right now. So I'm gonna put that guy, make sure that guy is going back in there in place. All right. And you see how I already got disconnected in the bottom? Right there. Right there. So now the spring is in place in the bottom and in the top. All right, make sure it's there. See how that shit comes off again? Yeah, you gotta be careful, because even putting the striker back on the pistol, that little guy can come off. Okay. Make sure you put the finger in the top so it doesn't go flying either. Bam. All right, now it's 100% in place. All right, so now you guys can see right there, this is a circle and then two walls on the sides. So here, this connector safety is going to touch that wall, meaning that wall is gonna compress that part against the striker, okay? Now you see that the safety disconnector cannot come out because of the wall. See? So what I want to check is if even doing that, the spring still how it's supposed to be in contact. Okay, yeah, the spring's still there. Okay. Anyways, make sure when you put these parts back on the pistol, everything is in place. So to put it back, just present it, make sure. So make sure you press down with this lip right here, a little bit on the striker. Put it right there, then press, and then slide it in. Bam. Not gonna come off. Good to go. All right, and then do your function test. I need to buy more snap caps for the 40 Smith & Wesson But for now, all I have is this guy right here. So what we're gonna do real quick is we are going to get another piece, another unmarked piece of aluminum, and we're gonna put it in the tab in the back of the striker. All right. I mean the striker, not the striker, the primer. You guys can see, once the primer hits that bit of aluminum, it's gonna show up that the fire pin went off. Oops, okay, I need barrel. We're not gonna do this test without the barrel or the spring. We're gonna do with the whole, with the entire firearm assembled. All right, good to go. There's no rounds in the chamber. Let the slide go forward. Function check. Reset. Okay. So now I'm gonna put the round in there. It's there. Huh. All right. And now we're gonna poke this guy right here. Bam. All right, already went off. There's no marks in the primer. I'll do it one more time. That's one way to do it without the explosion, okay? And if you don't have a dummy round to do it. All right. We'll do it one more time. Bam. The primer haven't go off yet, okay? Now we're going to do it. So that round part right there doesn't mean that the primer went off. This is me when I press, it took the shape off the tape, okay? So now you're gonna see the difference once I press that primer. I mean, once I press the trigger, right? How really, all right. Now you're gonna see the difference. Now you see that that's a mark from the firing pin. See the difference? How it's marked right now? That means that the obviously that it hits the primer. Okay. Let me do it one more time for another piece of aluminum. All right. So now I'm going to put 2 pieces of aluminum, okay? Instead of 1. Put the primer in there. And then we do it again. All right. Where is this guy? There you go. So you guys can see the primer haven't hit that portion right there. It's intact, okay? So now all we're gonna do is, I'll do it again. And then press. So now what? Now we should have a mark. You see how perfect is that mark from the firing pin and the aluminum? So that means that that test, I don't know if that even works, but you know, we'll give it a shot. Because I seen that the actual firing pin is coming out in some guns, some videos, but in mine it's not coming out. Pressing down here, okay. So I hope that helped you guys. You know, by any means, I'm not a gunsmith, but when I learn something from when I learn something from all the guys, and I see this type of test, you know, that looks dangerous, that firing pin showing up, I want to do it my own to see if mine is bad. Okay, but it's not. Everything's good to go. So I already hit it with a hammer a couple of times in the back and nothing happened. So even without the upgrade, I don't see anything wrong with this gun. Okay, so I hope this video helped you guys. You know, like I said, you know, if you do modifications in your gun, if you start touching your gun and putting all the parts, just suspect, you know, that everything goes well or everything goes wrong. Okay, you don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. You're not an expert. You start changing parts, anything can happen. Okay, this is a very precise mechanism in these firearms that if you change anything, can go wrong. Okay, not saying that SIG haven't done anything wrong, blah blah blah. Maybe that's what I'm doing this because I don't trust it. Okay, but I did my test, nothing going on. So I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope this video helped you guys. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and support the Second Amendment. See you guys in the next one.